Right, like I promised, no, this is the last leg, and we will keep it as interesting as possible. And I've got three super awesome panelists who are going to be talking a lot about AI. We are talking about databases, talk about AI, responsible AI, and so on and so forth. I'll start with you. Please introduce yourself to the audience. What do you do? Where do you do? What is it that you like with the technology and stuff? And then we'll go to Indu and Lahari.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Shruti Rawal. I work as a software engineer at Google with the AlloyDB Omni team. So my primary work revolves around evolving AlloyDB to be truly omnipresent while making sure that the enterprise standards of security and reliability are upheld. I think from a very early age, I always liked problem solving, and technology for me has always given me that platform, has always challenged me with new problems. So yeah, I would say that is something I really like about technology and engineering in general. Really excited to be here, and thanks for having me. Thank you, organizers, for the wonderful event.
Hi, myself InduTeja Alligati. So I have around 20 years of experience in IT industry, and I've been into various MNCs, Microsoft and AWS being the top ones, which I would say where I have learned a lot of technology stuff. So my experience is mainly with the databases. So my exposure is mostly into the multi-cloud and multi-database. And since last year is where I started exploring myself in AI. So I claim myself as an AI journalist, but I'm still learning. Yeah, so that's about me. And thank you, the Summit team, for giving this opportunity. There's a lot of networking, and it's nice to meet with all of you. Great sessions. Thank you. Over to you. Then.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Lahari and I am the TAM at OSDB. So from morning session, I think you all have heard about Chandini telling what a solution engineer role is. So I am into that one of the new and fresh role in support system, which is technical account manager. So yeah, nice to have you all, ma'am.
Right, most of you know me. My name is Hari Kiran. I've been doing databases for the past 2 decades. That's the only thing I know. Got married to Postgres before I got married to my wife. So, yeah, I mean, if you ask me anything that is not databases, I would be as novice as possible and as stupid as possible. But AI is something that I am really invested on as a company, as an individual, and as an evangelist. So I've got a very basic question, to all three of you. Give me a very short, sweet, and crisp answer, right? What comes to your mind, when you looked at the title of the panel, right? Build, buy versus open source, right? Let's start with you.
Yeah, so my bias would be towards buy for sure.
Buy for sure, okay?
Yeah, so I'm an informed engineer, so I would take a balanced approach. I would say you go with build when you have a unique data. So I make a choice to buy when I want to accelerate fast. And then I go with open source when I needed flexibility. So I want to take a balanced approach.
Okay, so if I say you are between build and open source,
Yeah, I'll choose open source
okay,
so that I can innovate.
okay, sweet. Larry?
See, I'm from open source DB, so I'll choose open source.
Okay, anyone in the audience who wants to say build, buy versus open source very quickly? Sweet. Okay, cool. So now, great, great, cool. Now my question to InduTeja, right? What does it actually make sense to build your own data stack by using open source or by using, the COTS products that are available in the market?
Yeah, so it again depends on the business logic, business with which I'm going to build the product. But in an enterprise world, if you have the data and the data needs to be secured and it is unique, so definitely I will choose to build my own product myself than relying on the open source is what I see. Because security is something which comes into picture. Like if you take the defense domain or financial domain, where the data really needs to be secured and it is unique. We cannot share it or make it an open source kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's my answer. So build myself is what I would say, with the proprietary members which we have, so than relying on the open source. Yeah.
Shruti and Lahari, if you have any additional comments to contradict Indu or not to support her version, please feel free to.
So I think Indu covered it pretty much really great in that sense. Once if you have your own custom logic, if you are going to add something of really good value, or if there is very specific use case like she mentioned for financial or for military use cases, then it does make sense to buy to build your own version. However, for companies or use cases where you don't really have where building doesn't give you a proper competitive edge in that sense, you may find that building is sort of an overkill, because there are already enterprises out there whose entire business sort of depends on getting things like security, compliance, governance, data residency, all these things right. Because if it is not giving you a good competitive edge, then you're going to hire very good like a specialized workforce who need to understand every quirk of your own code base. They have to understand whatever changes that you've done here and there, all the nitty-gritties of the implementation to be effective. Like, you will have to train them obviously, but that is an additional cost that you have to bear. So I think, yeah, she summed up pretty good in that sense.
So when if I look at
So keeping build in mind, I think we should always keep in mind about the go-to-market strategies.
okay, so if I summarize now what our three panelists are saying. Yeah, if we summarize what our three panelists are saying, you build and be cognizable about what exactly is the use cases that you are trying to solve, and whether it is open source, whether you are buying it, whether you are doing something in the middle ground where you're picking up a product and then customizing it for the use cases. I think that's the way to go about it. This is a great start, folks. My next question to you, let's look at you, right? What is the most important thing the organizations should look at, because you are choosing the buy nomenclature, right? What should be the most important thing that organizations should keep keep at the back of their minds when they are buying software to build their AI acumen?
So I think with buying, there is always a possibility that you may want to switch vendors. So I think looking at nitty-gritties at the time of exit, looking at whether if there is some additional cost that the in terms of licenses or whatever, if there is some additional cost that the vendor is asking you in case you want to switch at the time of exit, then definitely that is something that you really need to look at, because more often than not, you may want yourself, after let's say 10 years or so, you may feel that there is some other vendor who is providing better capabilities, something like that, and you want to switch. So at that time, you would want to look at how seamless you will be able to make that exit. Also, one thing you would need be if you have so many custom logics, some middleware that you are going to add your own proprietary code on top of it, that should remain seamless enough that if at all you end up changing the vendor, that integration itself is seamless. You don't have to do a lot of rework on your internal tools or on your internal utilities that you built on top of the infra or whatever commodity you buy it from the vendor. Yeah, I think that's what comes to my mind.
Zero vendor lock-in.
Zero vendor locking and minimal rework when you switch vendors.
All right, sweet. Anyone wants to?
Yeah, so I prefer buying when, in cases of any startups also, where I have an idea and I want to start fast. So that is where I buy the product which is already. So I buy the product immediately. I accelerate with my ideation. So that is where it will help boost up my revenue kind of stuff. So this is not something which is secured or so, but I'm just not reinventing the things, but trying to leverage what is existing, like a chatbot. So if I want to build up any startup related to a food, these products, or I would say the Zomato or something like that, if I have some ideation, I can just simply use it, right? Why to reinvent? So that is where to speed up my startup, I definitely use the option of buy. Yeah, that's the choice.
Do you want to say anything? Okay. Now, staying on the same, buy process, and I hear you loud and clear that it should be a zero vendor lock-in, right? Uh, but what are some of the nuances the IT leaders should be aware of, right? Especially when they are signing long-term contracts. No, I mean, we're still in the buy phase here.
So yeah, I think this vendor login, as I mentioned, would definitely be
I
one
hear
of
you
the
loud and clear.
nuances. But I think other than that, one of the most important things to note is that you compare your vendors clearly. But over on top of that, you should be able to look at what are exactly your own security and compliance requirements. You may want to, let's say, deploy in US, or you may want to work with the US military, or you may want to work in the Europe. All of these countries have their own data residency laws. Some vendors or the other, they may have some compliance, they may not have others. So you may want to look at exactly what is the portfolio of from in terms of security and governance point of view that they are providing you, and then make sure that that aligns with your own set of instructions. Another one small thing I would say would be definitely there are times when the stakeholders are not properly involved at all stages in terms of evaluation. Also, that is definitely one thing you could look at. That whichever team or whichever is the actual consumer of that product that you're going to buy from the vendor, those people must be sort of included in the conversation at appropriate stages with appropriate visibility, so that they get to sort of give you their feedback about the product that you're buying beforehand and not later.
Great. Cool. Lahari, now that you have chosen open source DB, right? Uh, what would be your thought when somebody says, "Hey, I am building an AI platform, and should I look at open source as the default architectural approach to go to?"
In Postgres or any data platform world, see, open source is largely considered as the default starting point. And Postgres gives you the strongest ecosystem without forcing you to the early vendor lock-in. And also, and it also has a strategic bets, like, success comes when or how well you deeply manage the operations, scaling, or support. And uh, and also, open source works or plays a best role when it is properly aligned with rich expertise and governance. And Postgres by default gives you that freedom. And discipline is what matters, which turns that freedom into stability. So yeah.
I mean, I'll park your answer there and then come back to Indu, right? So, where does exactly though you have also voted for? I would look at open source as one of the three aspects. Okay, uh, what are the biggest differentiators that you have seen in being an AI generalist in the recent past?
Okay, using open source.
Yeah, using open source.
Yeah. So we can innovate faster is what I would say, because open source is managed by it's a community driven. So you get the upgrades faster. So it is quite flexible with the cost as well. And yeah, there is no vendor lock-in. So those are some of the advantages I see with open source. But on the other side, since it's a community driven, we do get the latest updates, we innovate faster. But one glitch I still see is like For an enterprise customer is where there might be little hiccups, and if you want any bug fix or something like that, it takes little time is what I would say. Apart from that, I think open source is helps in innovating faster, making us learn, explore the new things, and get going with the latest technologies. Yeah.
So, so if you have to contradict or go ahead with both, agree to both of these points, right? Where do you think that buying the AI stack and then combining the buying of AI stack with open source, do you see a synergence in between? Do you see a healthy synergence for the consumer market? Right? The company which is going to buy that specific software, right, for their AI inferences. Now, do you see any synergy there, buying between open source and coexisting between them?
So I think there you would find many companies and many enterprises, many use cases where they do combine the two, and so basically they would probably because it is AI. Usually people have their very AI and agentic use cases are something which are very specific to a particular organization or particular use case. In which cases I've always seen people go ahead with like a hybrid approach. So they go ahead and they build their own custom logic on agentic AI. They provide their own data sets, or they in some cases I've also seen people actually training their own models on certain things here and there. So I would always say that agentic that core logic that is built, that is always more often than not you would see people building that. But then open source is also combined over there to make sure like whatever interfaces, if you would see sort of implemented between the two, or you would find some infra as a tool, like you would see a lot of use of like open source tools like Kubernetes or these things which are acting as an interface between the two. So yeah, I've seen cases where there is both of them are coexisting one together, because I think as Indu pointed out, right, everything has its own custom use case and every solution is very much tailored to your own problem. So yeah.
Now that we've heard three of our experts here, I've got three questions. Right now, first question is, if you are using any AI tool, what would be the tool that you would mention? Anybody in the audience, especially the college grads who are here, right? What is your favorite AI tool at this point of time? And then if you can say why, we would appreciate that. I heard GPT, ChatGPT, and Google Gemini. Both are one and the same. Uh, any specific reason why ChatGPT is better ease of use? Okay. The second question is, how much of the information, right, the prompt engineering that you are doing, right? Uh, how happy are you with whatever the prompts that you are giving the GPTs, the Geminis, or the Claude? Okay? How happy are you with the freeware that is available? Right? I'm not talking about the $17 Claude subscription per month or the $20 subscription that ChatGPT has, right? With the freemiums that you have in place, how happy are you? Right? How much of stuff is getting done for you? And anybody who wants to nominate and answer. I'm going to use the same answers to the panelists again and see, toss their brains and come up with a more concrete stuff. You're 62% unhappy or happy? Happy. Anybody on this side who is unhappy? 50-50, right? You're happy out of 10 times, you're happy with the answer 5 times. Okay, the third question, right? No, bear with me for a second. So the third question is, do you try to improve that answer by any chance? Please come again. Uh, elaborate, please. Rehumanizing it. Okay. Now that you have heard now what some of our folks are saying. Now coming back to the same build versus buy versus open source, right? So the three answers, I don't know if we summarize these three answers, before we go to a lightning round. What are your what is that one suggestion or a recommendation that you would give to the audience? All three of you. I'll start with you.
So I think one thing that you must understand very well, much more than the enterprises who are trying to build for you, is what exactly is your use case or what exactly is the solution that you're looking for. Tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or any generic ones, they are usually trained on sort of a plain data, very generic data, which is not particularly suited for very specialized use cases. Like if you try to use ChatGPT or Gemini based model for coding, it will work in 60% to 70% of cases. In some cases, you would realize that the answer that it gives you, it could be improved a lot. Same thing if you go and ask a very generic question to Claude, it may be able to give you the right answer, it may not be. So it all depends on what exactly the model is built for, what exactly is the use case that stack overall is built for. So understand your use case, understand what the vendor or whatever free tool or paid tool, whatever you're trying to use, and see if there is a synergy between the two, if it aligns, the tool you're trying to use is aligned to what your use case is. So yeah, that's what.
If I have to say, some of my friends said I use both ChatGPT and Gemini. Right? People who are using only ChatGPT, they can cross-reference the answers they are getting from ChatGPT with Gemini. I mean, is that what you are trying to say or recommend?
No, what I'm trying to recommend is you should understand what your if let's say I'm an engineer, my primary use case is coding, so then I would want to go to a model which is built for coding.
Right. Choose your model.
Yeah, choose your tech stack as per your need.
Choose your model. Choose your LLM for the use case you are working.
Yeah, I think that's foremost important. You have to choose your element. You have to decide which LLM you have to do. Let's say you wanted to have a coding done fast. Go for a vibe coding tool, something like that. So now I think most of the people have said ChatGPT, but and then it's like you're satisfied 50%. So do you think ChatGPT is going to give you the latest information? No. So then why are you using ChatGPT if you want? So it depends on your use case. You are trying to ask something which is of older information, something. Yeah, it's RAG based and the way it gives is good enough. But I suggest is like you have to try different tools, not just stick to one particular tool. And the one which is latest. So you have many tools. I don't want to promote on the tools, but there are many open source tools which are free, which are latest, Perplexity or Grok AI. So there are many more. And third important thing is no AI is 100%. We all know. So whatever, I think probably the 70% if it is going to give, that's the best tool I would say. So it's working better. So it needs to be trained. You have to keep on prompting. Try to rephrase your prompt and then try to get the answer. So it will give a better answer. So you yourself have to train that. So and make it much better. That's what I say.
In addition to what Shruti and Indu said, so the onus is also on us. So we cannot go blindly and say to go to ChatGPT or some other LLM and you just copy and paste the question and it just gives the answer and then use the same answer in the other ChatGPT and you cannot assume that I'll get a better version for the question or the answer that I gave to that LLM. So before giving the question to the LLM, you should understand what you're exactly asking. So that is very, very important. So keeping students in mind, I say that I think we should use your brain first.
Be human first.
Yeah, be human first. Not to be rude.
Learn from engineering.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get into the lightning round, I would say. Right? I'll have a question to you, and then all three of you can answer. Keep it short, for less than a minute per se. Less than a minute. Uh, yeah. Let's see. Now, what is that one most underestimated cost nowadays in data and AI?
I would say actually the inefficiencies which get introduced because due to the size and nature and the structure of data that you're using to train the model.
Uh, the data quality.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on top of that, I would say people also.
People.
The people, yeah. So, and the processing power as well. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
It's time to build and go to market time.
That is not being factored by the people who are in the data and AI industry. Okay, great. Any questions in the audience that you would want to have a lightning fast answer from our expert panelists? Good. I've got one more question, right? One open source project category that you are really, really bullish about.
So I am really sort of fan of tools which are all about ML operations and the whole orchestration. So things like TensorFlow and all, which are sort of related to you can train your model, you can build your own model, the whole category, I would say.
Yeah, I would say automation. So,
Automation.
automation.
Okay.
So, how automating the workflows through agentic AI. Yeah.
I would go with PG Vector.
uh, you are really bullish about PG Vector. Anybody in the audience who are you're really, really bullish about a feature that's already available in the AI market that you want to see a lot more sophistication and lot more technology advancement? Any one specific feature or a project that you guys are working on? Did anybody say computing power? Yeah, which Indu has already covered. Right. Last question. Mm-hmm. So the last lightning question. Now that we have spent 30-35 minutes on this topic, right? What is your current stand with respect to buy, build, open source?
Yeah, I would still go with buy or probably a hybrid of buy and open source if time permits.
Hybrid of buy and open source.
Buy and open
Great.
source.
Very cool.
I would go with all three as I as I started with my tagline. If it is a unique data, go for build. If you want to accelerate, go for buy. If you need flexibility, go for open source. So it's hybrid of all three
Awesome.
for an enterprise.
I'll copy Indu answer. It's hybrid.
So you're a hybrid
And
of both. I
build.
mean, all three
All
options:
three,
buy,
yeah.
build,
And
and
open source.
open source. Okay. Anybody in the audience who would like to say what is your current stance now after hearing to our experts? Open source. Okay. Anybody? Yeah, like Hindu says. No. Look at the use case. Look at the data that you have. Okay. So, I mean, if I have to summarize, not summarize their responses, if I have to put the AI ecosystem at this point of time, it has got four building, or the most important pillars, I would say. First is obviously the people, right? The human behind, why are we doing this? What do we need to achieve, right? And then the first step, obviously, from an infrastructure standpoint, is the hardware, right? That is where I am really, really bullish about. Is there another, a variant of NVIDIA or a chip maker coming in India, right? Some of the bright minds that are sitting here would come up and say, "Hey, I've got a chip that can perform or overperform NVIDIA," right? So hardware. Second is the actual software, and third is the data set, right? The databases that are going to hold the data, right? I'm not even talking Postgres only, right? I'm talking about all the databases that do support the AI, do support AI advancement, right? And then the last but not the least, people. Uh, all of these three components wouldn't work if you do not have the right set of people or the right set of minds that are working. So that's my summary of the four important pillars. And thank you for being such a great panelist.
Thanks all.